Hey everybody!
Here we are.
Welcome back to another episode of Hanks and Gainz.
Ooh, that was a military style there.
Hey, I am Dr. Hayes Estes, owner of Premier Physical Therapy. Donnie, what's up?
Well, I'm just kidding. No,
Donnie, where are we?
We got a really cool special here, right here. We are in the Tampa Bay area. That's where we reside and we work and we train. And so there's something that pretty big just happened. The first time in pro football history, in NFL history, the Super Bowl era at least, a home team not only played a home Super Bowl, but decisively won a home Super Bowl. So this area has been, as much as it can be with what's going on and the certain leaders that are put in place that may or may not have our best interest in mind. But this place has been doing, been a buzz, and it's been great. Been great except for one person. Everything has been great for everybody except for one person who happens to be sitting to my right, your left.
So, Donnie somehow spent over a minute talking, and he didn't actually mention what
I know, it's
happened.
great. It's great.
I guess, okay, good, touche, good for you. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers won their second Super Bowl in the team's history at the expense of my favorite team, the Kansas City Chiefs. Here, Super Bowl 55 in Tampa. So, that's it. We're done, right?
Yeah, we're done. That's it. That's all we're going to do because you
show.
didn't spend 2 weeks berating a certain member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for us to be done in 2 minutes. Yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
That's
You're right.
fine.
That's it. Yeah.
All right. So, yes, for those of you who follow me on social media or are friends with me on social media, yeah, I did. I spent a solid 2 weeks dropping fun facts about Mr. Tom Brady.
Facts. Let's use that term. Facts.
Prove to me they weren't true.
Yeah.
Prove to me they weren't true.
Is the burden of proof on us? All right, cool. All
I
right.
don't know. So many people took my fun fact chicanery as somehow I was saying that Tom Brady is not the greatest quarterback of all time. He didn't deserve all of the rings that he's won, and those people are idiots. Yes.
So now you've alienated everybody.
Yeah. Listen,
Right. Whatever you like,
everyone,
you too.
everyone needs to buckle up right now because this episode, I researched this episode. I researched the crap out of this episode.
Know thy enemy.
I'm going to shove stuff down your throat that you're not going to like. And it has nothing to do with how great of a football player Tom Brady is. You know what? Okay, so here it is. Here's my official caveat. Here's the preface to this episode. Tom Brady, greatest quarterback of all time. People, we can separate what happens on the football field from what happens off of the football field. You know, you got O.J. Simpson, you got Aaron Hernandez, you got Ray Caruth, you got Tom Brady, you got Tom Brady. There's really not a difference between them all, right? Great football players on the field, psychopaths off the field.
Some people murdered people, some people didn't. There's a difference.
Prove to me he didn't murder someone.
What? Do we really want to go down that road when we start just wildly saying accusations and say prove otherwise? Because that's not even a slippery slope. That's a downhill grade completely.
No, maybe it happened. Right. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, the cell phone was destroyed.
I'm going to digress.
So, yes, Tom Brady, greatest quarterback of all time, not going to be topped. Maybe my boy Pat Mahomes, but there's a very slim chance. So I'm fully admitting Tom Brady is an excellent quarterback. No one will ever top him. Sure, he's the GOAT. And if you like goat's milk, this is probably not the episode for you.
We're in agreement. Yes.
Yeah. So, with that said, now we're going to tell you about the Tb12 method and how much absolute bullcrap it is. It's complete nonsense. It's pseudoscience at best. We're going to break it down with all the evidence. So,
and that's Dr. Hayes' opinion?
The F it is. It's also the Federal Trade Commission's opinion. So if you want to go out there
bring in government
and avoid nightshades because you think that they're going to affect your blood pH, you better buckle up. You got something coming to you, okay?
All right.
So here we go. Sorry. Did you want to talk? I could just do the whole episode by myself.
But you can. I'm gonna go grab a drink.
We'll start with Alex Guerrero, who is let's see. Wikipedia says he's an Argentine alternative medicine practitioner and alkaline diet advocate. There it is. So he's also
other people would be called either a personal trainer or a coach. Okay, but
yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and just add reality while you talk about
okay.
it. Okay, there you go.
That's
All right,
fine.
Go
So,
so subtitles for his buffoonery over here.
Okay. All right. So he's best known. He wrote a book, 2004, it's called "The Balance for Life: Understanding and Maximizing Your Body's pH Behavior." He then created a nutritional supplement program to go along with it that would, do things like cure HIV, AIDS, and cancer with zero scientific evidence to back it up. He really has one client that has performed well under his tutelage, and yes, that is Thomas Brady Jr., the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last time I checked, a case study or a sample size of n equals 1, not enough evidence to definitively prove anything, let alone how many supermodels he's been married to or had children with. Got it. Okay, next. So here's the thing. So
this was not talked about beforehand. We had not mentioned one thing about this on purpose. Everything you're seeing right here is totally organic. So the expressions on my face that you're seeing, they are real. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm just going to kind of get right to it. So in 2005, so a year after he released this book, he was sanctioned by the United States Federal Trade Commission for falsely proclaiming himself as a doctor. Again, claiming to be able to cure cancer, AIDS, multiple sclerosis, heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, and Parkinson's using a dietary supplement called Supreme Greens. So, good on you, Alex. Good on you. So, he might as well be up there with Dr. Oz. This is an effing joke. So, what's the alkaline diet? The alkaline diet, also known as the alkaline ash diet, alkaline acid diet, the acid ash diet, the acid alkaline diet, a group of loosely related diets based on the misconception that different types of food can have an effect on the pH balance of the body. So basically, if you eat certain foods, it'll affect your pH, which will then affect, how many electrolytes you can handle, how often you're going to go to the bathroom, how many hours you can sustain an erection. Who really knows? I don't know, because it's made up anyway. So, I don't know. Can
I interject?
Have people shut this off yet?
Can I interject?
You can definitely interject.
The pH, the alkaline pH level, that stuff, while completely, it's not functional, not rational, not realistic, there is a way to adjust your pH levels. Now the reality of this, though, people think, pH levels are the ability to sustain life in pH is such a small, narrow margin, and you know this as a medical, that adjusting it is such fractional that it makes no real sense to it. But it can adjust. But people think they have this long scale of adjustable pH. It's not. It's fractional. It's fractional, and when people say why pH is off, they're talking about like small percentages that make a big difference. But they're still small percentages. So I believe with this, what he was doing there was probably just misleading, and it probably there is, and he probably knew that. So I'm going to go ahead and agree with you on this aspect of that. That was, you're selling something that really is not there. Yeah. In the realm of life, it is there, but it's not anything that's practical.
So yes, all right. I'll take off my rage hat for a second.
Thanks, appreciate it.
So you can affect your urinary pH. Mm-hmm. What the waste that is excreted from your body, but affecting blood pH, almost impossible to do unless you take extreme measures, and these extreme measures not suggested by healthcare professionals
or proven
medical doctors, because they can affect how your body functions in such extreme manners that you will then potentially succumb to other types of conditions or diseases. So it's on top of that, just the ability to really measure how much you're affecting the pH is very difficult. So being able to adequately and follow these diets and determine if this diet is effective is very difficult to do in the first place. So it's point being, it's ripe for someone to throw out a bunch of pseudoscience mumbo jumbo because no one really knows what's happening and can really prove definitively that he's incorrect, that, hey, it's ripe for the taking. Let me just take it and run with it. And run with it, he did right into Tom Brady's arms, who has bought in wholeheartedly to this absolute nonsense. So I don't want to spend a ton of time on the nutritional part of it.
Which we already have.
Which we already have. That's fine. I'm going to spend more time on the pliability aspects of this method and what TB12 proclaims to has been the most effective to prolong his career, and that is being pliable. So Donnie, as a strength coach with multiple certifications and years of personal experience in the trenches, what is pliability?
Well, if I'm gonna guess what
you don't know
what Mr. Guerrero here is referring to, he's probably talking about the mobility and the ability of the muscles to withstand impact and extended ranges of motion. That's what I'm going to guess he's referring to. Okay? And if he is referring to that, he's not wrong when it comes to the aspect of what he's applying it to in football or sports. Now, I'm just going to go on the opposite side of you here, and I'm going to say, I'm going to guess that's what he's referring to when he says pliability. I'm not sure he's referring to the layers of plywood that you buy at Home Depot. Because if he's not, then at that point, the more pliability you have, the less bender you are, and he's going against his own principle. But I'm going to say that's not what he's referring to. I think you probably would have said that's what he's referring to because of your disdain for this human being. And me being the rational one for once. I'm going to go again. So let's move on here like that.
Completely irrational right now.
Completely. And it wasn't like this 12 minutes ago. It was actually a rational human being. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Turned it on. But so we're talking about that. Yes. So let's look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady, if you were to say, man, build me an athlete, Tom Brady would not be first selected. Okay, let's be very honest. You look at him, he looks like a dad bod that started CrossFit a couple weeks ago. That's what he looks like. Okay, now his performance on the field obviously is not that, and even athleticism there. I mean, even at his best, most athletic, he was never a high-level football athlete. His mind and his ability to stay healthy has been his key to success. He would not have the success he's had if he had retired at 38 years old. Let's be honest. It's just his ability to play at a high level, not just play, a high level into his mid-40s is the reason why he will go down as the greatest game manager quarterback of all time in the NFL. Simple as that. So does his TB12 method have something to do with that? I would venture to say yes on the training aspect of it. The mumbo jumbo that you were referring to over there, I agree with you, is mumbo jumbo. And I understand that if you're going to take one of it, you got to take both. But I'm going to separate it for now and say that the training style, the accommodating resistance, the plyometrics, those types of training that he has applied to it, I think has a lot to do with it, because I don't think you're going to ever turn Tom Brady into a 4.40 guy. You're never going to turn Tom Brady into a 225 bench presser. He's never going to do the 3-cone drill like these guys do it. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that when he does get hit, he can get up. When he does take these blows that an unathletic person normally would take that would knock them down, he's able to move on and rehab it. So I think right there, and given I'm not going to say I'm in depth knowledge of the TB12 method here. I've done research outside of this show, and as someone who likes progressive resistance, accommodating resistance in bands and stuff in my own training and my own athletes, I can see where they come into play here. They, of course, mixed in with other training and stuff like that. But and to be fair, like the guy, his nutritional program, I mean, the guy eats perfect almost. All right. As we could see by the parade a couple days ago, He doesn't drink very often. I mean, so there's these effects that the TB12 method that he touts, and I'm sure he follows very stringently, have produced results. And ultimately, in any sports, it's a results-driven industry.
I'm not here to argue the results.
It's
I'm not here to argue
results-driven.
results.
So if he drinks snake blood, and all of a sudden 3 people drink snake blood and end up Tom Brady, maybe there's something to that. I don't know, but I'm just saying there is some usefulness to the type of physical training that TB12 offers. And of course, they're monetizing it now, so they're going to dumb it down for the average person. But it still doesn't take away from Tom Brady's training that's kept him as a high-level athlete in his particular field. If he were a running back, oh God, this wouldn't even be a conversation. The fact that he's a quarterback in today's NFL makes it so he could be there. But besides that, I mean, I agree with the training aspect of it. You know, for the type of person that Tom Brady is, would that work for Tyrann Mathieu? Probably not, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. You know, would that work for Ndamukong Suh? Absolutely not. So I mean, it all depends on there. For Tom Brady, it worked. I concede my time.
Okay. Thank you. Man, I have been biting my tongue. I was waiting for you to finish. So, all right. If you look at his diet and if you look at how he trains, the main thing is the consistency. The consistency
Yes.
with which he has adhered to both the diet and his training method. My issue, and the issue that everyone watching this should take, is the rationale that Alex Guerrero and TB12 provide to you as to why it works. That is where it's a bunch of malarkey, so to speak. It is absolute nonsense, and they're making stuff up as to why it works. And that is my main issue with any sort of health and fitness, healthcare practitioner, scientific intervention where it may work, but if you come up with a bunch of BS as to why it works, that's definitively proven to be wrong, yet you continue to tout it anyway, that's where you're trying to pull the wool over people's eyes. And that is my main issue with it, and why I cannot stand the promotion of this absolute BS where I need to go and pay $150 for a vibrating foam roller and $200 to get the TB12 booklet so that I can become Tom Brady. Not going to happen, and it's definitely not going to happen the way that he says it's going to happen. So to go back to answer the question, the original question I asked, which was what is pliability, which you couldn't give me an answer. You said you had to guess. Well, that's right, because it's made up. But according,
I understand that.
Okay.
I'm just trying to decipher.
I know you did. I understand what they're trying to say too, but I'm going to give you their answer first, which is that it's the training regimen that he does every day using Alex Guerrero's hands and elbows. He performs targeted, deep force muscle work to lengthen and soften every muscle of my body as I rhythmically contract and relax the muscle. The goal of pliability is to re-educate your brain-body connection. Yeah, I'm going to keep using quotation marks, which continually sends messages to your muscles to stay long, soft, and primed. The F does that even mean? He's basically talking about active release. He's talking about a massage technique where you are moving yourself. You're moving your joint under someone else's pressure. It's not anything magic.
Yeah, Google ART. 100%.
Yeah. What happens with any sort of hands-on technique, whether it's massage, whether it's a chiropractic or manipulation that a chiropractor or a physical therapist does, whether it's manual stretching, what's happening in that instant, in that moment right there, I cannot physically. And Alex Guerrero was born in 1965, so he's not strong enough to do this. I cannot physically break up scar tissue or lengthen a muscle right then and there. I don't care how strong you are, you can't do that. You can't do that in the moment. What's happening is you're providing a stimulus to the nervous system that creates what's called a neurophysiological cascade effect. I have sent a stimulus to my nervous system that says, hey, calm down the tone of this muscle in the moment so the muscle can relax out of spasm, and then I can stretch it or I can strengthen it more appropriately. That's what's happening. not this BS that this guy's talking about where he's re-educating the brain-body connection. So that's my first issue with it. My second issue is that the dude doesn't believe in weight training or resistance strength training because he feels that the tendons and the muscles become too stiff and too dense where they can't respond quickly enough to handle something like dodging a defensive lineman when he's being blitzed. So I'm going to keep talking if you don't mind.
No, go for it, man.
Nonsense. What they've actually looked at. So here we go. What is this? The effects of tendon viscoelasticity and Achilles tendinosis on explosive performance and clinical severity in athletes. This was 2012. So for at least 9 years, we've known this. What happens actually in tendons that have tendinopathies or tendinoses or the old-fashioned tendinitis, they're actually less dense. They have less viscoelasticity. And so those are diseased tendons.
Yep.
What they found is that you actually want a tendon to be strong.
Well,
My tendon needs to be strong and stiff, you idiot. It needs to be strong and stiff so I can contract the muscle and I can handle the load that's being placed through it so that I can then go and jump and avoid a tackler. So I'm done. I'm done.
No, you know what's funny is I'm gonna just continue to support my stance that I believe that the accommodating resistance, the band work, that kind of stuff is great for athletes, especially for athletes, in my opinion, that are not athletic. I mean,
right.
And that right there, it shows Tom Brady and if you ever seen his combine picture, which has been out, but he's not athletic. It's not whatsoever. But I agree with you on that. Obviously, I mean, for anybody, and this is why I don't sit here and tout that Guerrero is a great trainer. Not once did I say that.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
And I don't believe he is. I think he is a snake oil salesman that has a really good salesman.
He's got a perfect client.
He's got a
perfect client.
Yes, I mean, and you know what's funny is, like, as a trainer, who wouldn't kill to have the greatest quarterback ever as your poster child client?
I would love to have him come into my clinic, and
so I can't blame it there. But you got to understand, we got to put out the facts, and I appreciate you going in here and putting out facts along with your
rage,
your rants and raging, but actually facts based. But I agree, the tendon has to be strong. A soft and weak tendon is one that's ready, is prime for breaking, for tearing, for 100%. That doesn't take a doctor to realize that. So that part, once again, is BS. And these are great things to talk about here. I agree with you on that one, and I'm going to agree with you on that because strength training has its place in every aspect of athleticism. Now, you can vary that strength training, but resistance training is an integral part of every athletic venture.
Yeah. And he is. I fully admit he is doing some form of resistance strength training. At least he's using a band. He's doing something. He's using body weight, and that can be effective. That can obviously be effective for people, even professional football players, even the greatest quarterback of all time. That's theoretically enough to maintain your body and to handle the load of playing quarterback for almost 20
But it's very clear he does not lift traditional weights.
No,
you can just look at him and see that.
He's on the record as saying that he does not do so intentionally because of dumb.
And it's worked for him great. Buyer beware for the average person.
Yeah. So I don't know if I
feel better yet.
I do.
All
I do.
right.
Finally, it's on the record. I'm on
go.
the record. I can explain why for 2 weeks before leading up to the Super Bowl, I completely bashed him as a human being, not as a football player, but as a human being because he's freaking weird. All right, he's different. He's different in a way that I don't know, whatever. But he's touting pseudoscience, and it needed to be addressed. And so this has nothing. This has nothing to do with his talent and what's happened on the football field. This has everything to do with the promotion of his lifestyle off the football
And I think
field.
Guerrero is more at fault for that too, because Brady is not an exercise science major. He's not somebody he's been someone who's been sold something, and the product has come out there. So is he culpable for this? Absolutely. But is he the guy that's going out there? He's not the one putting this stuff out. He's the one selling it.
And this episode has been brought to you by the power of placebo.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah. For some reason, it works. So, There's no doubt about that. We're not going to have any split on that one. The guy is the greatest game manager in the history. Simple as that.
Yeah. Right?
So.
Trent Dilfer is 1B.
What?
Trent Dilfer?
Yeah, I know that.
1B?
Oh,
1A, 1B?
God. Get out of here with Trent Dilfer.
Hey. All right.
Best thing he ever did was
win you a Super Bowl.
Broadcast. He didn't win us the Super Bowl. He won.
Oh, that was
Baltimore
Brad
the Super Bowl.
Johnson. Brad Johnson. My bad.
Yes.
I don't know.
That was FSU alumni. Go Brad.
All right. On that note, we don't even have any bro science because this was all bro science.
This is it.
So, Donnie, where can they find you and your memes about Tom Brady? Oh, by the way, I'm just going to assume that that there was just like highlights the entire time behind me, and just that.
We're just gonna play that that hit that Mahomes took
just
by
over
Sue,
and over and over again. Yeah.
Just that's gonna be 25 minutes of
I can't wait for that to be on behind
Or we
me.
just have the look of bewilderment that Mahomes had on his face the entire second half.
Take your son to work meme. Yeah, got it. Just throw it up there, Ashley.
Amen.
That's fine.
No, and you know what? I'll go ahead and say this. That guy's a great quarterback. He's not going to eclipse Tom Brady, I don't believe, unless he has like some really good luck run here. But he is going to go down as top 10 best quarterback. He's going to be up there with Marino. He's going to be up there with Breeze Brady. There's no doubt about it. Unless he just has like
You shut your mouth.
You know what I'm saying. Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
Okay, I won't say it. You know what I'm saying.
Shut your mouth.
All right, LT.
Let's end this.
Anyway, yeah, you can see me and my love for Tampa Bay sports and champions, apparently in Tampa Bay. That's what we are now. At Facebook.com/Strength and Performance Institute. And then Instagram Hayes every now and then. And, just other things that, people hate on me for. I'll be on there too. So Instagram.com/Donnie Kiernan. That's my personal one that I also put stuff out. So enjoy it. Hayes, have at it.
I'm Dr. Hayes Estes, the owner of Premier Physical Therapy, Clearwater, Florida. I love the Tampa Bay area. I do. I live here. I work here.
Sports.
My business is here. I on every other day of the year, I do root for the Tampa Bay sports teams, except for when they're playing the Chiefs and the Giants. And you can find Premier Physical Therapy on the Facebook, Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. Got it. We're also on Instagram at Run Tampa Bay.
Run like Mahomes was doing backwards. Yeah.
We're out. See, the thing that I hate the most is that, like, I look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm looking good. And I sit down next to you. And
The day you start lifting is the day you'll never be big enough.
yeah, exactly. I welcome and encourage any sort of sports bashing to come my way.
Yeah, but you got a memory, and I know next year. I don't want to eat my words, especially if it's on camera.
All right.
Wow, that was a hell of a rant, dude. I don't think I've ever seen you rant like that. Like, this needs to make sure that everybody sees this, because that's a whole different side.
Oh, man, that felt good.
That's not Dr. Hayes Estes.
No,
that's like
that was
angry, like college rant.
That was
after,
me in college.
Yeah.
That was me in college. That I just showed up here.
Like I
15
could
years
just
later.
I could see Hayes doing a keg stand. They're coming back, like, you know what I hate.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. That is exactly what I did.